The Indianapolis Colts offensive playbook is one of the best playbooks in all of Madden 26. We're going to be breaking it down for you right here. Now, a couple things before we get too far into this features a really good passing offense. It's going to be able to attack pretty much every single area of the field. It has, decent under center formations. It's got a really good red zone, making it, I think, just one of the best playbooks all around in Madden 26. I'm going to first start off with just kind of going through the formations and giving you kind of my base audibles for this offense. So I'll take a look here and just kind of looking at some of the plays. I think one of the most important runs to have in your arsenal is some type of duo and wide zone combination. Those two runs are super effective in this year's game. As we're kind of looking, I always like to look for like unique routes that you can't hot route. This route double outs has kind of a unique little almost trail route to the tight end. That is kind of cool. And it has a deep post and deep crosser out of this play, PA cross. Doubles off close is a good formation because you can actually audible down into that out of your base passing personnel grouping. So there are some good things about this play and this formation. One of the things is you have this RPO alert screen stretch. It's a really unique play. I like to have that in the arsenal. You also have the halfback slam, kind of an inside zone type of play. And then really the other ones I would say is kind of this bench corner stop has a unique corner route. These corner routes are really good this year. Those kind of sharper, flatter cutting corner routes are really good. And then outside of that, I would say, really the only other play that makes a lot of sense is this switch comeback, got a unique wheel route to tie it in. Wing stack is one of the reasons why I think this is one of the better offensive playbooks in Madden 26 because you have a really good way to create and craft good red zone plays from this. As you see this play flanker spot has kind of a unique post and a unique corner route that are really effective. You have a stretch, you have a dive, and then as we kind of come down into this little section here, you have, a couple of other little things that you could do if you wanted to have an additional run play in your arsenal. You could do that, or you could run this PA fork with kind of a unique out route. I'm probably just going to throw another run here, but I just think that these 5 or 4 plays are going to be really effective in the red zone. Now, as I said, they do have decent other under center formations. This I form close or I form, what's this one called? I form Y off close is cool because you have these auto motion plays. These auto motion plays are always, just really good. I like this motion PA counter variation here with some deep crossers and posts. You have, as far as a run game, you have basically an ISO, you have a stretch, and then if you want to have the counter, you can have the counter, or you could put another passing play in there, or you could put the zone play. I think in general, it probably just makes the most sense to put another run in this spot. So we're going to put that zone weak in there. And then you have I-form slot. What's nice about our I-form slot is this halfback stretch alert bubble is really effective. It's a great run to have access to. You also have a fullback dive in here. You have a power O, and then you have kind of whatever you want to do from a passing perspective. Any play really will work. I would say probably the one that makes the most sense is either this PA counter waggle or just this basic PA power O has a unique corner route to the tight end. Pistol formations here, their pistol deuce close is cool. You can kind of audible it around with this one. I like to put the stretch in here. I like to have the halfback dive and the halfback counter. And then as far as passing goes, I like these bench corner routes this year. I think they're kind of unique and they're really effective in this year's game. Pistol east tight, I didn't even see that formation. I'd probably just set all the runs, honestly, and then have bench. Pistol strong, there are some decent things you can do out of these pistol formations because of the triple option stuff. So, for example, one of the ones that I would probably set here is really any of these triple options. Could be pretty cool. I like this halfback off tackle run, kind of unique runs here. Go through the power O, probably throw the stretch in here, and then I would say you kind of want to have this triple option just because these triple options are really effective. As far as wing close goes, we have stretch, we have slam, we have tight end attack, and then we have a cheat motion play. They don't really look that great, to be honest. Probably do halfback zone. Halfback zone from pistol formations is really effective. This doubles is kind of a fun formation. You have a couple things here. You have a pin pull sweep. You have Halfback dive, you also have that triple option that I was talking about. I like to have, kind of these triple options I think are actually pretty effective. So I'll probably put that in the audibles and then I'll put the play action off of that. So these are the audibles for that formation. And now we get into some of the shotgun. What's nice about Colts is they added some new stuff to their shotgun formations, which makes it really good. So for example, this split close, you have this play here. You have fullback inside, really good run. I like to have the fullback inside and the power O. If you wanted to have the triple option as well, you certainly could do that. I think display mesh is really important to have access to in here. So I like to have that in the odds. And then wide receiver corners is really cool because you have short corners on both sides that you can kind of build around as well. The wing slot offset, one of the best ways to run the ball this year is actually from this formation. You have an outside zone, you have an inside zone, and then you also have a quarterback zone. These zone runs are really good. And you have like an 0-1 trap and that halfback punch. And then, really whatever you want to do elsewise from a passing perspective is probably just fine, honestly. I would say I kind of like these jet these jet motion plays. Probably the jet power read, I would say. These are some solid runs to have access to. Shotgun deuce close. This shotgun deuce close has the RPO read flat wheel, which has just been a staple. It has bench dig curl, which has got that short corner route. And then really from there, you're kind of building around those couple plays. This RPO peak stick, I think, is really good. And then the only other thing I would say is just these return motions are kind of cool. Like return PA slide is kind of a cool play. Corner and goes has some cool routes in it. The auto motion plays are kind of fun. I would say honestly the return PA slide makes the most sense. Wing stack, another really good formation for red zone type situations. You have this power O, really good run in red zone situations. 4 verticals with a running back speed in, which is really nice. And then you have, really the only other one I would say is probably just this basic PA slide with the auto motion. Doubles off close week. Now we're going to get into kind of some of the main passing formations in this playbook. And this formation's kind of got a couple new plays that are really cool to it. This motion mesh rail is really good. You have RPO read bubble, which is really good. You have double post, which has a lot of one play touchdown type routes. And then you also have, what I like is these auto motion flats. I think these auto motion flats are actually really good. The motion stick replace play with that auto motion flat route is actually a pretty good play. And then if you wanted to, you could do the pivot seams, PA cross, or I would probably just leave double post. Flanker close, this formation, as far as, again, we're always looking for like just unique routes, unique things that we can add. I would say this formation doesn't have a ton of stuff. So what I like to do when a formation doesn't have a ton of stuff like that, I like to set a lot of run plays. So halfback sweep, I like to have halfback counter. And then if you take a look at this play, weak flood, kind of a unique in route on the right, but I don't love everything else about it. So I'm probably just going to put mesh spot because it has a stock fade on the left side. Normal Y off, this is another one of those formations that I would say, there's not a ton of great passing from this one. So I would just set a lot of run plays. So I have 45 quick base. I have this, you could do an RPO if you wanted to, but I do think one of the best passing plays is this double dig. You have that short corner to the slot receiver. And then other than that, I would probably just set we could just set the RPO, I think, and be fine there. Tight open. Tight open is a really good formation this year's game because it has a lot of kind of auto motions and short corners, short post routes that are extremely valuable in this year's game. So this play right here, I think one of the best ones is spot option. The spot option play is really effective because you have a short corner on both sides that you can kind of build around both of those plays. For the run play, I would say, the speed option is good. I would probably just leave the basic inside zone. And then verticals HP burst is a good, kind of concept as well. And then I do like these auto motion flat plays. A couple different ways in which you can kind of get to them. But I would say, in general, I think, this next kind of slot here, we probably just put this auto motion mesh auto motion goal line spot or auto motion mesh spot, but you do have a cool table route from that one. We'll probably put that one in there because we do have short corners from this one. So, anyways, tight Y off weak. This is a pretty good formation in this playbook. It's been good for a couple years now. You have a couple things that are kind of neat. You have post will drag. You have 0-1 trap, which is a great run, and then from there you can kind of build around it with other things. For example, you have an RPO. You have an outside zone, which is a good run to have every year. And then, see, I think that's going to be probably what we're going to rock here. This RPO is cool because you can hot route off of it, but I'd probably just leave it like this. Trip side and flex. So what's nice about Colts is, like I said, they added some new stuff that kind of makes it a really versatile playbook. And you have a full trip side and flex formation with a couple of really unique routes. This play Y out and up is really good because you have a short corner on the left side slot receiver. Verticals is really good because you have the seam streak. P shot crossers is good, but I will say it's not as good as it used to be, and I don't think it necessarily makes the cut. I think motion Y post obviously has to be in there, and then I do think you kind of want to have a run play in a trips tight end this year. I think there's just so many good ways to run the ball out of trips. I think just in general having the bubble screen is probably the best option. So that is how I set up the trips. The tray open is one of those formations. Again, you have some kind of cool stuff, but nothing that I would say is like amazing, right? So what I'd probably do is really just pretty basic plays, stick, 4 verticals, and then this play Y drag has a running back speed in route, which is really good. Y off trips. Now this formation is really, really good down in the red zone. You have a couple things that I think make this a really, really good formation. Number one, PA double post. You have a short post. You have a tight end wheel. The 4 verticals from this is actually really, really good. And then what I would honestly do, you could do the stick and nod play if you wanted to. I do think that's a cool auto motion play. But what I think just makes the most sense is really just the duo run here. And then they have the RPO read Y flat, which is a really, really good RPO. And then you have, your other passing plays. So I really like that formation a ton. Their bunch strong nasty. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Colts bunch strong nasty this year. It has this play. What was I just looking at? Motion smash angle with a short corner on that solo wide receiver side. It has the RPO read bubble, which is a really good RPO. And then from there, a couple different things that you could realistically do, but I think what makes the most sense is really just a good old, combination of like dagger here. P bunch shot is cool because you do have a bomb concept out of that, out of play action blocking. But I honestly feel like, mesh flat spot is good. Y trail to me is really good. It's a really good play. But I would say in general, I'd probably just leave PA bunch shot just because it's play action blocking. Now, this is what they added. So they added this bunch tight end, and they actually have some really cool plays out of this bunch tight end that I think make Colts really, really a nice combination between bunch offset, bunch tight end, bunch strong nasty. So a couple things here. This motion mesh play to me is really good because you have an auto motion streak to the outside. What I would probably do in terms of the run play is I think just the basic inside zone is probably fine. Motion divide is cool because you have a stock fade and a short post. And then the last play here that I would probably set, there are a lot of really good ones. I think the last play that I would probably set, motion fork corner puts that short post on the outside receiver off of an auto motion. I wish we had one short corner play from this, but anyway, we will go with this one right here. So anyway, that's a good one. And then bunch offset, this is kind of your base formation. This formation is really, really good. And even though it doesn't have an auto motion like Falcons bunch does, it has everything else that I think makes it just a top tier bunch offset. So you have spacing switch, verts halfback under, P read. You literally don't even need to set audibles for this. You're going to be just fine. As far as the one thing, I don't think you necessarily need to run the ball out of bunch offset, to be honest. I would probably just recommend putting, double post or bench pivot or, one of your other plays that you're going to call. But bunch offset is your primary primary passing formation. This RPO read bubble out of spread is good. It's one of the few things that I'll ever run out of a spread set. Spotlight cross, kind of a cool play. And then really that's it. They don't have a ton of crazy stuff. So we'll just leave that like that. Empty base flex. Don't really ever run that, but they do have a couple plays. They have the Y corner play. They have the RPO alert draw, which is like a quarterback draw, kind of a unique way to get to it. Stick and nod. And then I would just have, your basic Y corner. And then the only problem to me is their 4 verticals is kind of not very great. But that, which to me is very unfortunate. But house wide juke is probably what you have to do there. And then that is pretty much it. Empty bunch wide don't really ever run. So let's get into some combos. So bunch offset, and here's some combos that I like out of this formation, out of this playbook. This play double post can be ran a bajillion different ways. I actually think it's really good in this year's game. So what I would do first and foremost is just drag the slot receiver. And the cool part is these are all quick snap setups. Just drag the slot receiver. You have kind of an underneath mesh this year. These little underneath like drag and in are really good because the yellows, they drift back significantly in cover 4 or cover 3. The other thing is this running back speed in is one of the best ways to consistently attack man coverage. As you see, I mean, he just really does a good job of being able to break down man coverage consistently. And then the other thing that you have as far as man beating here is your post route normally will beat man coverage if you give it enough time to get open over the middle. As you just saw right there, able to beat man. I will say too, sometimes this C route does a good job. You'll see here kind of sharply cuts to the outside. And that's why I like this play because, again, it's a one hot route. You get a high-low on both sides of the field. That will do a really good job against man and zone. If they hard flat on this left-hand side, you're going to see that C route it's a really unique C route, and it's not like the hot routed C route. So what happens is it runs a little shallower and a little sharper, in my opinion. So if you're patient on this, you can kind of throw this to the sideline and catch it just like that on the edge. Obviously, he's got to be able to come down with the ball, but this, this is really, really good, especially because a lot of people are going to play. I don't know why we can't make the throw there, but a lot of people are going to play cover 4 hard flat. And I think this does a decent job because you'll see how that hard flat just kind of like goes that way. And then you have, that potential, catch right there on the left side. Now, if you wanted that to be a little cleaner, you could also come back this receiver. And what'll happen is this will be a little bit cleaner in terms of like, he'll just get a lot more space to be able to work on that left side. So you have that option as well. Another thing is if you want like a stock cover 3 beater, a lot of times what happens is this play just stock. Whoops, I actually messed up my setup there. This play just stock beats cover 3 normally. So let's see if we can get it to pop cover 3 here. Forgot to drag this guy. But basically what you'll see here is you see how you have that little void, and then this can pop that cover 3 on the left side. So for them to stop that, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to run cover 2 on that side, or potentially cover 4. Now, the thing with cover 4 is you could also run a setup like this where you streak your slot receiver and snap the ball quickly. And what you're going to see against that is if you're patient with this post, he will keep running, and he will normally eventually run over the top of that quarter. So I will show that one more time here. So you see, if you kind of wait on this, he'll cross the quarter's face, like right there. And then you see how there's that little void. I wish we could get the animation where we actually catch the ball. But this, to me, is it's just a definite kind of cool thing. Again, just patience here. Get a nice pass. And you see that you're popping cover 4 over the top as well. Now, most people are going to do in bunch is they are going to essentially switch stick to this quarter zone to defend that. So the way that I like to counter that adjustment is with this combo right here. We're going to streak Rice, and we're going to corner route the tight end. So it looks like this. It looks a little weird, but it is pretty good in my opinion, because you're going to see that if they switch stick to that post, now you have a high-low on this backside between your running back in route and your running back in route and your tight end corner. So the only real way that they could stop that is by playing cover two with a cloud flat. But the problem with the cover two with the cloud flat is, again, I think these running back routes are really good. You're going to see here that, yes, that will defend that tight end route, but that running back route is going to get you, 7 to 10 yards pretty consistently. So once you start to notice that they're kind of going to, essentially, and this is the coverage that most people end up in against bunch. Like most of the time, you're going to end up in a coverage that looks, something like this, or if they're setting four, then it might just be like this. So, how do you like to attack cover two on the wide side of the field? I think one of the best ways to attack cover two on the wide side of the field is, really you can do it from almost any play. What I do is a simple post streak corner like this. And then on the backside, you can use a drag. And normally you can just take the running back and put him on a block. And what you're going to see is against cover two, that deep corner has a lot of space to be able to run over the top of the cover two coverage on that left-hand side consistently. I think another very, very underrated thing is a lot of people like this, like cover three cloud here, and they'll have this hook curl, and then on this back end side, we'll do something like this, right? And what you can do to attack that is really just your basic seam streak here to this slot receiver. And you're going to see a little weapons a lot of times against this is if you throw it right up the middle, he can actually pop that kind of cover three cloud rotation to the right side. So that does a really good job of breaking down, that coverage. Another thing about cover two man that I forgot to talk about is this tight end. To show that a little bit, we have to actually get a little bit more time here, but sometimes this tight end wheel can pop cover two man. We'll show you here a little better. But what you'll see, and we got kind of caught up here, but when he cuts up field, not really popping. All right, we'll move on from that. Another thing that I was going to go over, though, is another one of my favorite setups out of double post. The reason I like to do it out of double post is because of the crosser that this crosser right here. So what I would do with this play is very, very simple. What you could do here is just simply fade or streak what I like to do is the curl, and I like to stem it all the way up, but so it makes it a straight streak. But this route right here, and then I would just do your basic kind of almost smash return type of setup. But of course, this is going to use that crosser right there. And you're going to see that this crosser runs super fast, and it just gets into a really nice spot on the field where, again, they're going to have to consistently, switch stick to that area of the field. And, that's a tough switch stick to make consistently. And then you also have the backside return route and drag underneath of it to be able to, attack the defense. This is also really, really good. The thing I wanted to show you about this crosser is this crosser will do a really good job of being able to consistently beat man coverage. And you'll see that right here. So watch, he's going to run super smooth. He always gets inside leverage. And he just pops man coverage up the middle really easily. And that's kind of lead us to our next setup, which is verticals, just basic verticals. I really like this play. All you're going to do is literally just snap the ball, and it's going to be good for you. This little crosser is really the main. I think that crosser is so money on this play. Now, if they're shading underneath or they're putting, unique zone drops and things like that, I want you to look for that tight end, kind of in that little seam area of the field. It's kind of a tight read, but we'll see if we can actually get some time here. And you'll see kind of right in that little window right there, nice little route to be able to hit. I think this is also really good against cover two. So if they run cover two, specifically if they run like a roll coverage, cover two like this, let me put this guy on a hook, is if you think about it, the user is going to take the user is going to take the crosser, and then it's going to leave, your backside verticals. So you'll see here how this kind of works. The running back is amazing against cover two. Let me try to show this one more time. Just getting crazy pressure right now. But The running back against cover two, because the wheels will pull back the flat zones. You'll see right there, there's a nice window to hit the running back against that. So those are some of my favorite plays out of bunch. Obviously, you have bench pivot. Like, this play is just so good. Never sleep on this play. You know, just your basic whip route there. That's going to, I feel like that whip route is really, really good in this year's game because it forces you into a cover two. Because if you're trying to adjust out of a cover three, you're going to see here that the hook zone, which what most people do is they'll blitz that guy. You know, so like it looks something like this. And then the hook zone is going to be from this guy. It's a vert hook if they hot route it. The vert hooks in this game are really bad. They just, it doesn't matter really what you do. They're just bad zones. So watch the vert hook just kind of get roasted by the pivot route consistently. Like, it's just a super, super easy way to attack. So again, another way that we hopefully kind of showed at this point, like the way most people like to defend bunch is essentially kind of cover two, rolling over the bunch side. And then, you know, one of the best ways to attack that is, you know, with some variation of a play like this. If I go back to bench pivot, you can actually see, you know, something like this. I'd probably stem the corner down, but this corner is going to do a really good job of running here. If they do go cover four, sometimes you can even still throw the corner. Let me actually get us to cover two here. But again, a lot of people are going to run this. Again, when they see that you're running bunch consistently, this combo right here is kind of your cover two beater. It does a really good job of attacking that defender, as you see. But then the other thing is they're going to run cover three, cover four to the solo side. So the way that you want to attack that is you want to audible over here to your bunch strong nasty, and you want to audible to motion smash angle. As you see here, we have two short corner routes, and we're going to stem the one on the solo side all the way down, so it looks like that. Now, because we've isolated that side completely, you're going to see here that we can also do other combinations off of this. So, for example, let's say we wanted to do something like this. You know, we could easily do a combo like this. But what you're going to see is that short corner just pops cover three, cover four. You have to be in a cover two hard flat, really, to consistently defend that. In fact, if they go to cover two drop, you're going to see right here that, you know, that cover two, even though it's a soft squat, which actually I messed up my setup here, but you're still going to be able to throw this, as you see. So that is really big, because you can throw, you know, you can throw that short corner to the short side of the field against pretty much any coverage, especially if they're in a nickel set, because when they're in a nickel set, normally the nickel corner will be to the bunch side, which then opens this up. And you see, I mean, this is just layup, throw after layup, throw after layup, throw, able to attack, you know, the defense on that side. So now they have to play, you know, cover two to the left side. And this is where you'll mix in dagger like this. And all you're going to do is just post your tight end. And what you'll see is against cover two, that clear out is going to do a good job. And then that tight end post is going to get into a nice area of the field to be able to attack the defense. So, you know, that's a couple of my favorite plays from the bunch and kind of scheming around that. Another one that I think would be crazy not to show you is just motion smash angle to the right. You'll see here that if we stem this guy, stem the slot corner all the way down, can really do whatever else you want with the routes. But basically what you're going to see here is because that corner is to the inside, it's going to kind of struggle, in my opinion, to consistently get the separation that you would want against cover three, cover four. So what I would actually do is, because again, we're anticipating a lot of cover two to the bunch side, what I would actually do is use this as like a double corner or a universal thing. So like from PA bunch shot. The reason I call PA is because of the PA blocking, but because the PA blocking is so good, what I would do with this is a setup like this, basically right here. Really good setup, and you'll see that against cover two, that corner will just outrun the cover two defender. So those are some of the ways that I like to kind of play the chess match in this formation. As far as other plays from bunch offset that we really didn't get to talk about, one of them is flood. I think flood is really good just because you have a good tight end flat route. You have good old staples like dig return, smash return. Oh, I forgot to talk about spacing switch. We will talk about that. We will talk about that play a little bit. Let's actually just come out in let's come out in smash return, And then I'm just going to throw, just for the sake of kind of showing plays and stuff, I'm just going to throw flood in the audibles here. But we do have smash returns. What I like to do with smash return is just drag the tight end. What I would honestly do is if you don't know this, like if you max protect, it puts you in base protection and it blocks your running back. So I'd block max protect, drag the tight end. If it resets, it resets. But anyway, and streak the slot. So it looks like this. The reason I like this play is because this return route right here on the right side just gets into a nice spot, and then you basically just have a high-low over the middle of the field that you can use to attack a variety of defenses that people are going to run. You have that tight end drag, which is just such a good route that gets underneath so much stuff, and it's a great little play and good at beating variety of coverages. Now, the thing that I wanted to talk about is space and switch, because again, a lot of people like to run cover 4 hard flat or cover 3 hard flat to the solo side. So if you watch this flat route, you're going to see that this flat route can be thrown against a hard flat. Like you saw right there, like the hard flat will kind of go, but then he'll shuffle his feet and he won't actually play him. This can also be thrown against a curl flat. As you see right here, this flat route can be thrown against a curl flat relatively easily. And then if it's man coverage, sometimes this thing can actually pop man. You'll see here, because he has like an actual cut into his route. A lot of times you can throw that even if they man him up. So one of the best ways to stop this, or one of the most, I guess, effective ways to stop this is actually to scissor on the left side where you're doing that kind of scissor adjustment. Most people are not going to do that, especially in a switch stick game. But you see that if you do that, it does guard it. But I mean, still, you're seeing like this is just a layup throw, right? So what I like to do with this play is this is like my, if I see a lot of cover 4, cover 3 to the solo side, I think this is such a good play. And then what I would do on the right here is you can kind of do a couple different things. One of the easiest things is just drag the slot receiver. Now you kind of have like a little bit of a mesh concept. And I'm telling you right now, like that is going to drive people insane that you are throwing that consistently. And then what'll happen is, a lot of their attention will now go to stopping that little route right there, that this slant can get thrown in this little window, right over there, because the user is kind of biting, to the drag and to the other side. Another thing that I like to do with this play, because this flat route is so good, is I kind of like to build around the flat. So what I would do is on the right side, this is where I would run a play like this. The reason I like this is because I know they're going to probably run cover 2 to that left side. If they run cover 2 in general, right, this is still going to do a really good job. And you see, just see how good that flat route is, just consistently attacking. So I think that's just one of the most best kept secrets a bunch, is that play right there. Flood, the way that I like to run flood is really specifically more so for that cover 2 type stuff. You can do it against really any coverage, but I think it's best for cover 2, because you're going to see here that we're able to kind of have this high-low between the tight end flat. This tight end flat is really good, especially against a cloud flat zone on that right-hand side. So you're able to attack, kind of that cloud flat type of deal. And then if they start, setting zone drops, some people I know like to set their flats to, 10, or they like to kind of play a little bit, more, I don't know, just slightly different. What you can do here is then you can hit this corner route over the top of a cover 2 in that little window right there. And then let's say they're running that cover 3 cloud that we were talking about, where we have an outside third here, because we are going to run this play with our slot receiver on the seam and the corner route. The corner route's going to do a really good job of pulling the zone. And then what you're able to do here is you should be able to hit this kind of right in that little window right there against cover 3 cloud. So anyways, that is flood. I'll show that to you one more time. I feel kind of bad that we didn't actually hit this. And again, this is assuming that, they're playing cover 3 cloud, not like cover 2, right? But anyway, you'll see here that this thing right in that little window, and we just a little late, honestly. And that can happen. Like if you're a little late, that can really happen. What a lot of people do as well, though, in this game is they'll have this safety kind of in this area of the field, because they'll have their safety depths kind of set. So that's another just a little thing that you need to know about. But what you'll see here is, again, if you throw this on time, this should be a big play, potentially a touchdown here. We'll see if we can actually hit it right when he clears that yellow. You throw him right in that little alley, Now I'm just annoyed that I can't hit this. And we will try it until we hit it because now I gotta hit it. But anyway, it's really good for cover three cloud because cover three cloud is designed to defend the corner. But then when you have that slot on that right there, you see, that is a great route. Okay, so those are really the main plays. We didn't talk too much about PA read. Just a quick mention here is you have a short crosser. So the reason that this is good is because this crosser will do really good against switch stick. So what I would do is block the running back, fade this outside guy, drag, return route like this. But watch how this short crosser gets really underneath of that quarter on that side. I don't know why Mahomes is having so much trouble throwing the ball today, but we'll just show this one more time. This play right here will do a really good job against, your kind of basic cover 4, cover 3 hard flat on that side. Okay, we just can't throw the ball. We just decided today, like, there are some days we can throw the ball, there are some days we can't throw the ball, but anyways, this route right here is very good, and we blew past it. Very good. Now, if you guys want to get any of my full offensive and defensive ebooks, they are in our school community. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below for just $10. That will get you access to all of my offensive and defensive ebooks for both Madden and for college football. So if you want to sign up, that link is going to be in the description. Now, I want to go over this. So what you could do is you could come out in short side bunch. There are some things that we can actually run to the short side that I did want to mention just real quick. Again, a lot of people like to play cover 2 to the short side. But cover 2 on the short side can be manipulated really, really easily. One of the easiest ways to manipulate it is a combo like this out of verticals. You'll see that this seam streak will pull the deep half because he's on the short side. And then it's going to leave this fade, or not fade, it's going to leave the wheel open to the outside player. So I will run this, if I'm getting a lot of cover 2 to the bunch side, I'll come out short side like this, and then I'll set this up. And you'll see that this is a really good job, but it's specific to the short side. It's not going to do as good of a job to the wide side. But anyway, there's that. And then, like, let's say, they're running cover 4 or something like that. Then this wheel route to the tight end, this is also the same one out of double post, becomes extremely valuable. And I'll just kind of set up a makeshift double post. But basically, what will happen is your streak will pull the deep blues. And then this tight end late will get wide open against cover 4, drop to that short side. So that's another thing that you have that I think is, just really good. And then the other thing about short side is you're just basic, you're just basic like streak corner flat out of like a flood would be good because this deep corner is going to get open against cover 4. The thing you're not going to get it open against is cover 2 on the short side here. Let's go to flood. Like that. And you'll see that kind of throw right there. And again, I don't call that a lot, but that's something you can just kind of mix in. Another great thing, though, is when you audible to your bunch strong nasty, this motion smash angle play is really, really good to the short side. And you'll see here, you see how that corner just kind of, number 8 made the play of his career there, but let me just show this to you real quick. So I just want to show that like this angle, and then you could do really whatever on the back end of this, but you'll see how he kind of out leverages that defender because he's got more space. So anyway, those are a couple options for you. But really the main reason you do this is to audible to your bunch and your trips. So we have motion Y post in this, which is a nice audible because they have to flip if they're in a nickel set. And then really all you have to do to set this play up is stem down that return route, slant this guy in the middle, and this is still just an absolute money play in this year's game. It just does a really good job of attacking kind of that middle area of the field. And then the other thing about this trips tight end this year is you have this play Y out and up. What's nice about this play is, as I said, you have a short corner out here. So what I will do is I'll stem this corner out all the way down, and then I'm going to motion this guy in, and you can snap like right there if you want to, but take a look at that corner route. Just pop cover 3, cover 4 on that left side. Nobody's going to want to run cover 3, nobody's going to want to run cover 2 against trips this year. because cover two is just, I mean, you're just begging to get, you know, one play touchdown. I'll show you how. So if you're ever seeing a lot of cover two, this play verticals is really, really good. You don't really even need to do anything. What I would probably go ahead and do is take my running back and, you know, I mean, again, really anything. Like, I just block him, honestly. I don't think you really need to do a whole lot. And then I would honestly have a comeback route on this left side if in case it's cover three or cover four. You could leave the fade too, but cover two is going to do a good job of defending the fade this year, but it's not going to do a good job of defending this seam streak. So you'll see if I pass this up into the inside, that seam streak is open. Now that seam streak will get a lot more open when I leave that fade. So I'll actually show that with that fade on the field too. But, you know, this is another great way, like, because the only way they can really stop the short corner is by calling cover two. So let's say, oh, they know you're going to go to the short corner play, but now you go to this play and you see, I mean, just how powerful of a route that is against cover two coverage. So that's one of the best little audibles, in my opinion. And again, most people, some people you play and they won't flip their play. So they'll let you audible, but they won't flip their play. And if that's the case, then, you know, even more so reason, what I would probably do is a slot fade, a stem down corner, a tight end drag, and then really whatever else you want to do. I don't really care what this guy's on, honestly. You know, I mean, if you want, you could even motion him all the way across the formation. I think that gives him a little too long to set up, but I just think this corner route, man, number 8 is just, he is here to play today. But I just think that stem down corner is really good. The other thing too is, let's say you're playing like double mug, that linebacker will never go out there like that, and that would be an easy way to attack there. But basically, again, here you just see, you know, I mean, it's just a great route and gets into a good spot. Now, if they're running a lot of, so the counter to the counter, right? So let's say that they're running a lot of cover 2 on that left side. What I would do is, because they see you motion and they run the cover 2, right? So what you could do here is, and you could really do it out of anything. You could do it out of basically anything. But what I would do is a drag like this, and then I would have this left side guy be on a simple streak, and then I'd have the inside guy be on a stem down corner like this. And the reason this is good is because against cover 2, when you motion this guy across, it puts that flat defender in kind of conflict, and you'll see that this corner gets a free release, and he will just run over the cover 2 on that left side. So that's another way in which you can kind of just manipulate it once they start to over adjust to your short corner on that play. And then the other thing you have in trips is a bubble screen. So what's nice about this bubble screen is you can you can hit this bubble screen a lot against cover 2. This bubble screen is really, really good if they are in a cover 2. So that's another thing that you have. And then you also have this other audible, which is bunch tight end with motion mesh. So what I like to do with this play, motion mesh here, is first and foremost, you want to stem this streak all the way up. And then, you know, really what I would do on this play is probably, you know, something like this. But what you'll see here is this motion is going to run pretty good. He'll just set his feet, and he'll be a nice clear out for you on that left-hand side over there. The other thing about this audible is you have some of your basic passing plays. So, for example, you have motion fork under. This has a really unique route to the left side, a couple decent corner routes. But what I would probably do here is just a streak, a zig, and then, you know, really whatever you wanted to do on the backside. But what you'll see is that this short post gets underneath of those inside quarters really, really effectively. So anyway, there's just a lot of really, really good audibles from bunch tight end or bunch tight end, trips tight end. And then the other one that we forgot to talk about a ton is this right here, this audible to wild trip. So every now and then, it's a really fast audible, as you can see. And this is really, really good. This RPO read flat is amazing. It's a really good RPO. It's really good in the red zone. It's really, really good in the middle of the field as well. You also have PA double post, which you can just drag your tight end. I would probably, I don't know what I would do with my running back, honestly. I would probably do something like this, even. I mean, I think this is fine. But you have this little drag, you have this little return route, and then this post route's really good because it gets into a nice area right there. Another really, really good play out of this trips, because what people are going to do is they're going to have to run cover three. So another good play you could do here is just a flat and a zig. And again, I know it doesn't look like much, but the reason this is so good is because they're going to have to play cover three or cover four to stop the RPO, and then it's going to leave this, wide open. So, and then that also will beat man coverage for you as well. So, anyway, as far as other plays that I like to go to, we didn't talk about tight open at all. I feel like we should talk about this. So, this tight open has that short corner on the right side. So, what I would do would be something like this, and you'll see that that short corner does a good job of out leveraging to that right side. So you have that audible as well within this playbook. And then the other thing about tight open is you have this auto motion mesh play with a speed table route to the running back. So what I would realistically do here is just a basic streak, and then I would just call it. Watch how fast this auto motion runs to the flat. You'll see here kind of like pretty glitchy, and then he'll just out leverage that defender. It's also pretty good against man coverage. And then the other thing that you have is kind of that high low across the field as well. So, and if you wanted to, you could also just put Worthy on whatever route you want. So it doesn't have to just be on the auto motion. But you'll see here, gets man coverage, he puts them in a lot of conflict, and then your mesh play is it's wide open. So that is kind of the basics and the gist of the Colts offense in terms of how you would run it like up and down the field. Now, when you get down here in the red zone, there's actually some really good plays. So first and foremost, if you're on the right hash, what I would do is I would audible across to your trips, motion wide post, and I would flat this middle trips receiver in route slant just like this. This is the best red zone play, in my opinion, in the game, because this in route is going to get wide open a lot. Like that in route is very consistent down here. It doesn't matter if they, like, let's say they flip with you, and I'm just going to audible to cover two as well. So like if they go to cover two, which most people will run cover two in the red zone, you're going to see that this vert hook's put in a lot of conflict here. So you can actually throw it before it gets there, because the slant is going to pull that yellow zone to the middle of the field a little bit. Now, if I shade underneath, the other thing that's going to be open here on this trips is, number one, your slant could be open. And then number two, really your route to your tight end is going to run really nice in the red zone for a high point in the back of the end zone right there. Or if you're patient with this play, you could actually throw this tight end kind of later in the development. So again, let me just set this play up like so. And watch how this tight end late, you'll see right in that little pocket right there. Now, again, that I could should have just waited on that. The deep half defender, what a lot of people will do is they will actually take that deep half defender and put him in a curl flat, which is the whole point of the flat, which I will show. I'll first show it against the deep half, and then I'll show it not deep halving. And just want to show you, like, this play just has a lot of options. Like there, the user's kind of stuck down there. Again, we're getting crazy sheds for a three-man rush. But let me get back over to trips, tight end. All right. So now that we have some time in the pocket, you'll see here, like late, if you wait on this late, he's not running his route right. I don't know why he's running his route so bad. So let me just put a bottle on this one and say, if you get cover two, you're going to probably hit the in route on the left side first. First thing. And I'll show that one more time. So I'm going to shade underneath again. Watch the in route. I mean, really right in that little pocket right there. That's crazy that deep half plays that well. It's actually wild. But one of the other things you can do is, let's say they're playing that. with that deep half and that cover two like that. Another little option you have is Y out and up. That short corner is going to be a really, really good route. I like to do a zig right here, short corner, and then on the backside, really whatever you want to do. But what happens is by moving this guy in like that, this little zig gets in a nice spot against cover two hard flat. So the other thing that you have down here is you also have your like basic bunch stuff. So you have bench pivot and all that, spacing switch, which we talked about that being a good play. But you also have that audible to wild trips, right? And against cover two, they're going to tend to struggle with this tight end route. You can hit that tight end route. Or the other thing you can do is, let's say they're selling out to stop the tight end route. In this year's game, you can actually hot route the tight end to a streak or really whatever. So you do something like this, and now, you can throw that tight end in the end zone if you wanted to do something like that. So anyways, you just have a lot of options, a lot of ways to score down here this year. Motion mesh, really, really good play down here. Or I'm sorry, motion smash angle, RPO bubble. Like these plays are really good because you'll see here what I'd probably do on the right side. Something like that. But you'll see the little flat zig combo is really, really good in this year's game. So those are some of the passing things that you can do. And then some of the running things you can do down here. I'll just go against random defenses. But remember, we have that split close. And what's nice about this split close is we have fullback inside and we have halfback power O. So we can, try to pop one of these runs down here if we wanted to. But the other thing that we have that I think is a super big deal is we have this mesh play with the short corner. And so you'll see that this short corner, when you run in the red zone, which he ran it really, really badly there. But that short corner can be something for you down in the red zone. Wide receiver corners is probably have better corner routes. Here on this left side. I actually show you something kind of cool. So on the left side here, I'm going to go to cover two. I'm going to shade down and take a look at the left side. So on the left side, we have this ghost route, and then we have this short corner. And then on the right side, I would just put this guy on, really just a basic, short cross route even. But what you'll see is that this ghost route will hold. Didn't quite hold him like I wanted him to. He will hold flats down. Specifically, it'll hold cloud flats kind of on a spot. But you'll see here, let me just put this short cross right, that little pocket right there. So anyway, a lot of ways to score down here is all I'm trying to say. This little motion halfback swing, I've been wanting to try this. I think this is actually probably a crazy play. Yeah, it is a crazy play. Very much so a crazy play. And then you also have the running back off of that, and then you have the other stuff. So anyway, split close, kind of a fun formation down here. If you add a tight end to it, you can audible around a little bit. And then I think one of the other just best runs in these situations is this I-form slot, this bubble screen, this stretch alert bubble is really, really good. I will say, a lot of times for some odd reason in this year's game, I feel like practice mode kind of makes runs look a lot worse than they really are. That's just my opinion. But yeah, the stretch is money down here in the red zone. It's a really good run. It's hard to stop. And then you can obviously get into, really any of the other stuff. You do have the bubble screen off of this as well. So they're going to have to defend, the whole horizontal aspects of the field. And then you have Power O. Power O is a really good run to counter stretch. If it stops stretch, probably doesn't stop Power O generally. But yeah, these are some of the best plays you can call down here in the red zone. I want to thank you for watching the Colts breakdown. If you guys want to get any of my full offensive or defensive ebooks, they're in our school community, and that link is in the description down below.